Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to NETGEAR's SMB webinar series. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Rachel, and I'll be your host for today. We have an exciting topic called Building a Stronger VAR Customer Relationship with NETGEAR ProSupport. And joining us, we have Doug Chung, our Senior PLM for Services. And as always, if you have any questions during the presentation, feel free to enter them in the chat box or in the Q&A. We'll also have a Q&A section at the end. All right, take it away, Doug.
All right. Thank you, Rachel. Good morning or good afternoon, everyone, from wherever you are. Thank you for joining us for this session of NETGEAR SMB webinar. This is something perhaps to many of you new and different. All of a sudden, we're talking about services, right? NETGEAR is known to be a box selling company. We sell lots of boxes, switches, we sell storage, we sell Wi-Fi. They all come in a nice, colorful gift box, or at least a brown box. So why are we selling services? This is really a way to cement the relationship with your customers, to build a strong, trusting, supportive relationship so that your customers are happy customers and become return customers. So I want to go into detail a little bit on the customer's journey in owning an IT product. And then from here on, we'll talk about how we build that relationship with our customer. And then the most boring part, I'll forewarn you, on this presentation. The most boring part of this presentation is going to be going through some SKUs of service contracts that you can sell. I will try to make it as easy to understand as possible. And certainly for more information, I'll show you where you can find the data, the information, so that you are armed and qualified to sell to your customers. So first, let's look at a IT product customer's journey. So phase zero, certainly, he is evaluating, he's deciding, I have a 30 people small company. Out of that 30 people, 20 are always in the office and 10 are usually going outside visiting customers. So I do a rough calculation. I really need a 42 to 52 port switch, and reasonably intelligent. I need to manage, so I do a lot of evaluation. Right? I look on the website, look at certainly NETGEAR would be the first one that I will hit on. I will try to study what kind of products are available, and then if I'm smart, I will do some comparison. I will look at Cisco, I will look at HP and see what I got, and then at the end I say, NETGEAR really offers a substantially better product in terms of feature, in terms of performance, and last but not the least is the price, right? Everything looked good. So I have decided I'm going to go for a NETGEAR. I make that decision. So I make the purchase through a trusted reseller. Of course, after consulting with a reseller, my understanding, my projection, my expectation are all validated, all substantiated by my trusted reseller. So I have decided I'm going to go with a NETGEAR product. So I bought it, bring it back home. I open the box and I try to install. Right, that's the process. And then the next phase is start to use that switch, or use that Wi-Fi, or use that storage, and then maintain it, right? As a small business proprietor, typically I would like a IT product to work for at least 3 to 5 years, right? Even in my QuickBook calculation, that's my amortization, that's my capital expense, that's my depreciation of any purchase. I want it to be working for 3 to 5 years. So I maintain it. And I want to get results. I really, I want to make sure that, if I bought a switch, that everybody is online. Everybody can with no interruption, with no drop link, no nothing. They are always online, talking to each other, talking to the company NAS, talking to the internet. And I start to evaluate again. So at this point,
if my experience with NETGEAR is a favorable one, the likelihood of me coming back to NETGEAR is very high, right? I mean, I'm familiar with the setup, I'm familiar with the user interface, I'm familiar with the apps that I use to manage all my NETGEAR devices. Why would I go to another vendor, right? I would go to another vendor only if I have been frustrated throughout that 3 years that the thing did not work up to my expectation, right? So I go through the evaluation and I go through that process all over again and will decide. That's a typical IT product customer's journey with us, with any IT vendor, right? So I did So I drew a line, a straight line, a satisfaction index, okay? And then throughout that, at the beginning, I am full of anticipation after I have decided, after I have given you, my trusted reseller, the purchase order. I'm full of anticipation, right? I'm getting my NAS, I'm getting my, my rack mount, 12 bay, very high performance NAS, or I'm getting myself a new full 1 gig, 24 port switch to connect all my employees. It promises it's going to be faster, people will be happier, productivity will go up. I mean, it's anticipation with euphoria. That's my mental state, and it's popping up. It's popping up my satisfaction index, right? It's supporting and popping up, raising my satisfaction index. Now comes the box. The box is shipped to me. I'm starting to open the box. And there's a user manual. Oh, by the way, the user manual is no longer printed. I have to go online and read it. And as a father of a young child, I get yelled at a lot by my daughter. Read the goddamn manual, right? Nobody likes to read the manual, including myself. I don't like to read the manual. Even when I buy a piece of furniture from IKEA, even assembling it, I hate to read the manual. So oftentimes I assemble the leg wrong. Instead of facing outward, I end up assembling the legs of a table facing inward. I mean, things like that happen. It's human nature that people don't like to read the user manual. So at this point, you are facing downward pressure.
Now, your satisfaction index is being pushed down. Right. The other thing is unexpected long process of installation. I mean, think about it. You and I, I mean, I'm a NETGEAR employee. You may not, but we all work for NETGEAR in some way. We all pitch the NETGEAR product. We all say, it's easy to install. It takes just a few minutes. So sure, right? To a well-versed IT professional or to a lucky person, setting up a Wi-Fi probably takes 5 minutes. Setting up a switch, maybe even less, depending on the kind of switch that you bought and the type of network you try to establish. A NAS, if you're lucky, maybe a 15, 20 minutes process. If you're not lucky, it could take, 30 minutes, 1 hour to a very, sophisticated environment. If you're trying to do, virtualization, if you're trying to set up a automatic backup to the cloud, if you bought a second readiness to do disaster recovery, things features add up, right, piled on, and you are facing, the customer is facing unexpectedly long process of installation. This is the biggest risk in the owning of a product. What that means is that at this point, it could trigger a return possibility. At this point, if the customer is frustrated, not making progress or hit some roadblock, that's where return might happen. Once we cross this point, the likelihood of the product being returned is very, very low. But this is the biggest downward pressure point on the satisfaction index, right? Difficulty in installing the product. Unexpectedly long process of installation. These are the factors that really push down the satisfaction index and trigger a possible product return, right? So what do we do in such a situation? What could be done to prevent that from happening? That is professional consultation, right? a remote and live help. So if somebody, I mean, think about it, we all do that. We have trouble setting up a printer. What do we want to do? We want to call someone. We want some live person on the other end of the telephone to help me out, to kind of guide me through. Most people these day and age are intelligent enough to describe the situation. Oh, what's my Wi-Fi SSID? Okay, if you need that, I'll punch it in. People by and large are intelligent enough to work with a professional on the other end of the telephone to complete this process. This process will push up the satisfaction index, right? Someone helping you to install the system, right? So instead of 1 hour, 2 hours struggling, you get someone to help you get it done within 15 minutes, 30 minutes, however long that time requires. And also one invaluable asset in this type of consultation is that through that consultation, the customer actually learned something. He has learned, at least 3-4 tricks about how this product works in his environment. And then he can learn it, internalize it, digest it, and use it for future incidents. So this is a valuable experience that the customer will come out, in a very, very, positive mood. Now, let's say that it's done, it's installed. Now, during the phase where you're getting the use out of the equipment, you're maintaining it, you're expecting to get results out of it, operational errors happen, right? In the case of a router, let's say a router, what happens with the in the case that the service provider, Comcast or AT&T, changes the IP address? Some of the settings that you have in your router all of a sudden did not work. I mean, I'm sure everybody got hit once or twice about they have forgotten that they set a particular port forwarding. 6 months ago they forgot about it, but Comcast changed the settings, changed the IP address, changed from IPv4 to IPv6, whatever, that rendered certain functions in your equipment just did not work. I can think of many things, right? Device bugs, even, all right? Let's not to pretend that NETGEAR products never had bugs, right? Let's just be honest to ourselves. Every product carries bugs. Every product has over time be exposed. Every product has certain vulnerabilities that could be exploited, but hackers, right? That's just fact of life in modern life. So all these things require, maintenance, require firmware update, and all these things, right? And then one of the very likely scenario is that the change of administrator, right? People do move, do change jobs, right? So with a sudden change of administrator, it's not just the admin username and password that are important. It's also the borrow a recent popular phrase, institutional knowledge, right? The guy has institutional knowledge of the network. Once that guy left, a lot of the things start to break down. How are things done? What's the Active Directory set up? Where is it being hosted? How are the VLAN set up? Who is on VLAN 0, VLAN 1? Who has higher priority? How do I set it up? All these things, again, they push down the satisfaction index. It goes back to the point that I need to read my manual. I need to understand. I mean, who has the time to read the manual? And now they have to Google. They have to go to YouTube. They have to find, material to remedy the situation. So at this point, what could support? What could have an upward lift on that satisfaction index? It is the accessibility of technical support. Now, at this point, imagine a customer is, having issues, with the device, with the product, with the network. There's someone he can call, a live person who can answer, who can perform some amount of debugging and perform, a fix Now, that definitely helps the customer. That definitely drives the satisfaction index upward, right? Needless to say, right? So at the time, the customer needs to do an upgrade, needs to evaluate his candidates, his options, and try to decide what to buy next. What could drive this customer away? Number one, the product performed below expectation. The quality of the product was below expectation, right? The Wi-Fi, even though it's a triple band, it's a dual speed, 5 gigahertz and 2.4 dual band, 3x3, but still my devices drop link a lot. Speed is very low. I feel that the lag is more than it should be. So these are quality issues, right? They all drive the satisfaction index downward. Negative experience, right? Things break down a lot. When I have an issue, I can't find answers on the internet. I cannot fix my problem promptly. I suffer downtime in my office. These are all negative experiences, and then they all drive our customers away, right? So we have to find ways to make sure that the product meets the customer's expectation, right? And offer a positive experience throughout that journey to reinforce the brand, right? Our CEO, Patrick Lowe, talks about brand a lot. Every single time he has a chance to talk to us, in one-on-one basis or on a group basis. Brand is very, very important. Brand is the bond between you and the customer, right? It's a promise. So if we lost that promise, if we lost that brand loyalty with our customers, then we're done, right? It's almost impossible to go back there to sell yet another piece of equipment. So it's very, very important that we maintain that positive relationship with the customer and reinforce a positive experience with the NETGEAR brand. And if we study the customer's journey throughout in the ownership of a IT product, it is the professional support, professional consultation, the phone support that is almost a guarantee. I mean, that's as good as a guarantee to drive up that satisfaction index. I mean, after you have sold the product, there's nothing you can do, right? Nothing more that you can do. You're not going to swap out another product unless you want to lose money, right? So the way to do it is to offer customer services to maintain that positive experience. So the key point, the takeaway in this slide is that recurring customer engagement and support assure high customer satisfaction, right? That's the only thing you can do after the product is sold. And then happy customers, return customers. That's for sure. Everybody understands that. So I'll just do a quick summary, right? Complex products, we all sell complex products. Let's face it, it's a fact, right? No matter how dumb it down we try to do with high IT products, it is complex. So complex products means very likely unsatisfied customers. Let's face it, that's reality. So customer support is the key to long-term success, right? That's our way to ensure that the customers will continue to have that journey with us, right? And then service contract is that bond. And I want to emphasize here that bond should be forged, should be established before the pain comes. I mean, go back to my earlier presentation slide, right? If you still remember it. If the customer is down in the water, is frustrated, at that time, if his only option is to pay $50 for a phone call, he is really angry. I was gonna use a different word. He at that point he is extremely frustrated and extremely angry with NETGEAR. So instead of selling insurance when there's a fire, we should sell insurance way before there's a fire, even the possibility of a fire, because we're professionals. We can anticipate certain things would happen during the entire journey of product ownership. So I highly recommend that we establish that contract, that bond, way before the pain comes, because the pain will come. Right? If we can anticipate that, if we can help the customer anticipate that and prevent that and remedy that and mitigate that pain way ahead of time, we will have happy customers. And happy customers certainly means repeat customers. And repeat customers is a thriving business for you and for all of us. Right? So that's really key. Now here comes the really boring part. And I'll try to walk you through as clearly as possible. This slide talks about the majority of the support and services that are available to NETGEAR business customers, right? All the words were carefully chosen. So number one, it's NETGEAR business, right? This slide does not talk about the Nighthawks, the Arlos. It's only NETGEAR business products. So that's number one. Number two is that it's both support and services. So I put them into two categories. On the left-hand side is free. These are free to our customers. On the right-hand side is premium, and we use the brand ProSupport. Okay, it's ProSupport premium services that we offer and render. Okay, so two big buckets first. Let's talk about the free. Okay, under free, number one, we have hardware warranty, right? We always offer free of charge hardware warranty. And that hardware warranty comes in 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, or lifetime, depending on the product, right? We have lots of NETGEAR business products. They vary from 1, 3, 5, and lifetime hardware warranty. And that information is available in the data sheet, on the company website, in the product catalog, and if you have access to it, what we call product setup sheet. It's all there, right? Specified. Second column, 90 days technical support. So any person who buys a NETGEAR business product is entitled to a 90-day free technical support over the phone, by email, and by chat. Okay, three items: email, chat, and then phone. Okay, they are entitled to those services within the 90-day period after they have registered the product. This is very important. If they don't register the product, they're not entitled to anything. Only after the product is registered with a username and email and phone number, they are entitled to these services, right? The third column under free is lifetime online technical support. So online means email and chat only. So no phone support, no live person on the other end of the conversation. And then it's on selected products only. So at a high level, roughly speaking, it's those high-end managed switches that have this support. Okay, it's lifetime, it's online only, but you have technical support lifetime. Okay, by email and by chat. Okay, so that's under the category of free. Okay, on the right-hand side is ProSupport Premium. These are the contracts that we sell, supplementing the free services on the left-hand side. So the first column under ProSupport Premium is remote installation consultation, right? So, this service is rendered at an appointed hour. So if let's say that you close a deal, you sell the product, and at the same time you have sold a remote installation consultation contract. Within 2 days, the customer will get a phone call or email to make an appointment for that service to be rendered. And that service will be rendered or shall be rendered within another 48 hours. So in another way of saying this is that in between the time the PO is received and the time the service is rendered, maximum 4 business days. Okay, that's kind of the service level agreement that we have with our customer on this consultation. Okay, it's a great product to sell to people. For example, I'll give you one example. I am a wedding photographer. I have tons and tons and tons of very, very high quality photos and I never want to put in the cloud. And of course, I'm a wedding photographer. That means I'm also a videographer. So I just have tons of material and I need to store it somewhere. But I'm just not super knowledgeable in terms of setting up a storage. I kind of know how to, I know very well how to set up a Wi-Fi. I know how to set up a slightly managed, what we call a smart plus a switch. That's all good. But when it comes to a storage, I'm a little bit fearful. I'm a little bit doubtful that I can do it all on my own. So instead of, try to hack it out on my own, spend 2 hours on it, multi-days on it, I'm just get someone to help me out, set it up for, in 30 minutes, even 1 hour. And during that time, maybe I'll learn something. So this is the type of ideal clients that you want to sell this service to. I would dare say that it's not the very high-end users, right? If it's a primary school IT manager, I don't think this service suits him, right? He wants to do it all on his own, or he will work closely with his reseller to get it done. It's unlikely that this type of service, this type of product suits him. So I would say it's the high-end, small business proprietors that are the ideal candidate for a remote installation consultation service. Okay, so that's first column. How much time do I have, Rachel?
You have until 12. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, so that's the first column. The second column is on-call 24/7 technical support. Now, this one, every single product that you quote should offer this, okay? Whether or not the customer wants it, it's a different matter. It's just like you walking out of Best Buy. I guarantee you will never walk out of a Best Buy store without being offered a service, right? I mean, the take-up rate, the attach rate, maybe 1%, maybe 10%, it doesn't matter. But make it available, make it visible to your customers, right? So we have hundreds of NETGEAR business products, and they are of different price point, they are of different technical complexity. So based on, it's a mix of calculation between complexity and price. We put all the products into 4 categories: category 1, 2, 3, and 4, right? Depending on the complexity. I can tell you that readiness, some of it is in category 4, some of it is in category 3. For the fully managed switches, there are 2 or 4 SKUs that are in category 4, and then the rest are in category 3. For the smart managed, some of them are in category 3, most of them are in category 2, so on and so forth. So you don't need to make that decision. That's completely predetermined for you. When you look at the product description, product meaning the hardware product, when you look at the hardware product description, the service category will be listed there. Okay, so based on the category, there are 3 contracts available: 1 year, 3 year, and 5 year contract. So in every category, there are 3 contracts available. So there is a total of 12 SKUs in support. You don't have to memorize this at all. All you need to do is look at the hardware product, and in the description of the hardware product, you will find the definition of category. And once you know the category, either the contract SKU is listed in the brochure itself, or it's easily looked up somewhere else. So we want to make this process extremely easy for you, okay? You just have to know that you should offer on-call 24/7 technical support on every quote that goes out, and you should know that support is available, and you should know that they should be predetermined and put into one of the 4 buckets. And then in every one bucket, you can have 3 contracts now. Let's be honest, 1 year, 3 year are the hot SKUs, right? 5 year, it's a little bit hard maybe for readiness. People intend to keep data for longer than 5 years, or data storage device for longer than 5 years. Yeah, 5-year contract makes sense. For most of the switches and definitely Wi-Fi, I think the sweet spot is probably 3 year. 1 year sometimes is a little too short. So here, nothing for you to memorize. There's no memorization needed. You just need to know the flow, how to pick out the right SKU to include in the quote. If you have any questions, you can post it right now, or you can talk to your whoever you talk to within the NETGEAR organization. So that's the second column. On call 24/7. I'm sure everybody knows what 24/7 means. And then the next one is next business day replacement. Okay. It's only available on selected products. So you do need to look at the product data sheet, look at the product brochure to find out if that's available. To some customers is, for example, like Switch customers, this is a pretty good deal, right? They spend $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 on a Switch, and for a couple $100, they literally have a device standing by. Should anything happens to their current operational device, NETGEAR will ship them a replacement within 24 hours. That's a pretty good deal. That's a great insurance policy. Okay, so at a high level, these are the support and services that we offer. Again, nothing to memorize, but I really encourage you to understand the philosophy behind it and the organization of our support and services. What's free, what's premium, under free, what are included, under premium, what are the services that we can offer. Make sure that you at least understand the flow, the organization. If you have any questions, please do contact us, because these are the tools that you will be equipped with. Now, this slide, lots of information. Where do you find the information, right? Sources of information. For hardware warranty, definitely go to the product catalog, go to the data sheet. It is mandatory that hardware warranty is listed, right? So you have no issue, you will see it. Lifetime online support, again, it's provided on selected products. You can go to product catalog, go to data sheet, it's there. Remote installation consultation, there's only one SKU, one price. Only one price available, right? No matter what the product is. And then the SKU is listed in the product description, okay? And the price is listed separately, okay? So that's on the remote installation consultation. The on-call technical support, it's very important for you to know what category that product is, right? And that definition is available in the data sheet, in the product catalog, and in the product description in the distribution price list, right? Or the distributor's website. If you don't find it, we are improving it right now as we speak. We're working with all our North America distributors to make sure that every NETGEAR business product in the 5 or 6 bullet points underneath that product SKU name, we will list out the category of support. We'll make sure that it's there, okay? So that's it. That's the source of information. Again, no need to memorize anything. Just understand the flow, okay? I think I'm reaching the end of the presentation. Just do a quick summary Offer support contract before the paint. I think that's extremely important. You should never sell insurance policy when there's a fire, right? Always sell insurance policy as an insurance policy, and support is a great insurance policy for customer success. And offer it, at the same time you offer the product. Recurring customer engagement and support assure customer satisfaction. We talked about that repeatedly during this 30 minutes. I think you probably agree with me, right? Because you want to maintain that umbilical cord. You want to maintain the relationship with your customer, and what better way to maintain that relationship than to offer support when the customer needs it, right? A satisfied customer is most definitely a repeat customer, and repeat customers are lifelines to VARs. I mean, and that's how we are different from the e-coms in the world, right? You buy something from Amazon today, there's absolutely no guarantee that you will go back to Amazon again to buy the second piece, right? The world keeps on changing. Offer services when you quote a product, and really it's very little effort, but immense rewards. Will this presentation be recorded? Yes, Rachel says yes, then it means yes.
Thank you so much, Doug, for that presentation. At this time, we're opening up our Q&A section. If you have any questions, feel free to enter them into the chat box or the Q&A, or if it comes to you after this webinar has ended, feel free to email us. Just gonna hold on.
Don't be shy, you're only typing.
So Benjamin has a question. He's asking, do you have any ultra low latency products?
Okay, low latency, if I understand it, so follow up if I am not understanding you correctly, okay? If I understand you correctly, low latency means a low lag for gaming. If that's the correct understanding of that, then you're talking about a router product, right? So NETGEAR has a number of routers that offer QoS, quality of service. And there's one particular SKU that is specifically designed for gaming. And I don't quite remember the product number, but it's the network NPG Nighthawk. You should look it up, just Google it. I don't own that. I'm not the product owner of that device. So that's why it doesn't come to me immediately. But so look for NETGEAR gaming router Nighthawk. These are keywords, you will find it. That's a great product for gamers. Is that your question or something different?
All right. Thank you so much, Doug. Hopefully we answered your question, Benjamin. And if not, as always, email us. It looks like that's all the questions we have during this session. Oh, wait, we got a response. Oh, so Benjamin was saying he was referring to switches for trading in markets, or conversely, do you allow programmable ASIC in the switch?
Okay, that's a great question. Low latency in the switching. I was afraid that would be another aspect of low latency, right? Let me get back to you on that. I don't know if we position the switch as a fast speed transactional, for stock trading switch. I don't know if we position that switch for that purpose. Let me get back to you. We do have switches that have QoS, but QoS does not always mean a, ultra low latency, right? QoS is still just, a method of guaranteeing a higher probability of traffic flow in a switch fabric, right? So I understand your question. Programmable ASIC, I also understand what that is. So let me get back to you.
Thank you, Doug. All right, it looks like that's all the questions. Thank you so much for joining us today for our webinar. Thank you, Doug, for hosting this and preparing this wonderful presentation. We will be sending out a follow-up email with the slides and the recorded webinar sometime next week. Have a wonderful day wherever you are, and good morning, good night. Have a great day. Thank you.